Okay, so why we have to do all this to stop to please him? What if we don't do that?
He will have grudges against the next
And then what will happen?
the relation between both of us will never.
That will also happen, but what will happen?
Krishna will be dissatisfied.
Because Krishna will be dissatisfied that you are taking my devotee for granted. Okay, so that is what is the main thing. We should be very careful. Whatever we do, we should take into account that this is actually linked to Krishna. So that's why I have to take him very seriously. But generally, it is a material world means we take everything for granted. Whoever just like ati parichayad avagya. That is the rule. Even if in Bhagavatam it is said there is a hill where the chandan is grown. There are various trees, many trees of chandan. So the Aborigine people living there, they use that for burning in their kitchen, cooking chandan. It's very costly because Ati Parichadavagya, they said it's normal. So many trees are there. So similarly, we see our so many devotees are there. I know them from so many years. What to take it seriously, why to take it seriously. But that affects, that's why we don't feel any love for Krishna while chanting, while reading, no experience, no positive experience because of so many offenses we do. And so that is the main reason we have to introspect. If I am there in bhakti for so many years, and still I am practicing very diligently, still I am not getting any kind of experience, means I have forgotten that I have offended many devotees and not asked forgiveness from them. This is sure shot. The process is there. Now we have to. That's why very the pure devotees, they are very perfect in their dealings. If they do something wrong, immediately they make sure ask forgiveness and make that people happy, that person happy. Because as the passage of time we forget, but that grudge remains, that vajra lep remains. And slowly, you won't believe, after a few years we lose taste in Krishna consciousness. That depends on the caliber of that person, that devotee, how much advanced that person is, that to that proportion the reaction comes. Just imagine. And I'll give you one example which should actually create fear in our heart when we're dealing with devotees. It is not that, oh, I have done offense to some devotee who was neophyte, then that's okay. But if he progress to become a pure devotee, that same offense will create a bigger reaction. When Dhruva Maharaj left his house and his stepmother actually had insulted him, he was not a devotee at that time. Not a devotee. He was just a Rajkumar prince. But he left the house and within 6 months he became pure devotee who actually saw Krishna, who had darshan of Krishna, pure devotee. What has happened? When he returned home, his his stepbrother was killed in the forest, and his stepmother went to find him. She also got burned in the forest fire. The Acharya writes this is because of the reaction of the offense done to Dhruva, which was before he became pure devotee. That much Krishna is very serious about his devotees. So offenses to devotee. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu writes that if you want to progress in devotional service, do only two things: chant Hare Krishna and don't offend devotees. Nothing else. You don't have to do Nirjal for 21 days. I mean, I'm just quoting, oh, I made 128 rounds here. But if you offend one devotee, that is not worth doing 128 rounds. Simple. Bhakti is very simple according to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Just chant whatever you have vowed for, do extra, but don't offend devotees. So that's why these offenses to be avoided is a very important chapter in our life, which we doesn't give any much importance because daily life we are only dealing with devotees. That's why it is a natural to have a not giving any value to the devotee. But it affects our devotional service and experience in our bhakti. Positive experiences stops. And वो बोलता है we just keep doing mechanical bhakti. Mechanical in the sense we do keep doing it, but we don't feel any sort of encouragement. So Dhulile Vajralev, we have understood everything, right? So let us see now the Dhulile, the 32 offenses in the matter of serving the Lord. So one should not enter the temple of the deity in the car or palanquin or with shoes on the field. Everybody follows it. One should not fail to observe the various festivals for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, such as Janmashtami, Rath Yatra. Specifically, it is mentioned to the people who have deities in the house. You welcome deities, so you have to do some festivals for them. Because you have invited temples, automatically they will perform it. But at home, if you have invited Krishna, then perform some festivals. One should not avoid bowing down before the deity. One should not enter the temple to worship the Lord without having washed one's hands and feet after eating. One should not enter the temple in contaminated state. Contaminated state in various reasons are there, but here it is mentioned. If somebody dies in the family, the whole family becomes contaminated for some time, according to its status. For example, if the family is Brahmana, their contamination period is 12 days. For Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, 15 days. Shudras for 30 days. One should not bow down on one hand. You should be dandavat. One should not circumambulate in front of Sri Krishna. The process of circumambulating the temple is that one should begin circumambulating from the deity's right hand side of the temple and come round. Such circumambulation should be performed outside the temple structure at least 3 times daily. One should not spread his leg before the deity. Aristasur, why he becomes Aristasur? Because once he sat before his guru, spreading his leg in front of the guru. He cursed him, become a bull. You are sitting like a bull. So, because the gurus are treated as good as Krishna, because in the sense you have to serve Guru as you serve Krishna, God. Not that Guru is God, but we have to please Guru as such as the way we are pleasing Guru, the God. We can't directly access, we don't have access to Krishna. So the media is Guru permanently, of course. So we have to, so of course, if we can't sit before Guru with the spread legs, what to speak of in front of Lord. One should not lie down before the deity of Krishna. So if you have to lie down in the home, make a curtain close. Close the curtain. One should not accept prasad before the deity. That is what curtain should be closed. One should never speak a lie before deity. One should not talk very loudly before deity. One should not talk with others before the deity. That is why this is given, because because a very important personality. If somebody is very important as person has come to your home or in front of you, then your whole attention should be towards him only. ऐसा नहीं ठीक है खड़े बाद में हमारा बात चल रहा है. No, that is not fair. One should not quarrel or fight before the deity. If one sannyasi came to the temple and then one devotee came, oh sannyasi, he offered dandas to him. And sannyasi became angry. You don't know. We should not offer dandavas to anybody before the deity. Then later the senior Maharaj called him and he said, while for correcting him, you have also performed one offense. What is that? We should not be angry or we should not quarrel with others in front of deity. One should not chastise anyone before the deity. That is the main. One should not be charitable to beggars before the deity. Because we are beggars. How can we show ourselves to be king? One should not speak very harshly to others before the deity. There is only also one statement Radheshan Prabhu told that how we are so, what do you call, materialistic, in the sense we bring materialistic idea while coming to Krishna consciousness that, oh, senior is there, I have to be very humble. And somebody is junior, I can be rash with him. So once he went to one temple, Radheshan Prabhu. As soon as he came, right from the, and I mean, from the gate itself, everybody bowed down. Dandvat Purab Jamin Pe. And then the the assistant forgot to bring something, attar ya phir har. So he started chastising him, the, the person who was the host. And here, oh, Prabhu, Hare Krishna. And he was, so Prabhu corrected him that, that's not the perfect way to do that. You cannot chastise harshly the person so that, and one time you do, you uh, glorify somebody, senior, and at the same time you chastise. It's just like doing with before DT itself. That is not the proper way. So praise publicly, correct privately. That is a Vaishnava Vyavahar. Praise with 5 mouths publicly, but we have to correct, give feedback, give privately. So that way we can avoid offenses. One should not wear fur blanket before the deity. One should not eulogize or praise anyone else before the deity. One should not speak any ill names before the deity. One should not pass air before the deity. One should not fail to worship deity according to one's means. What do you mean by that? If you are a rich person, then do worship in that way. If you are a poor person, whatever you have, do that. According to your standard, maintain the deity worship. If you are very rich, but you are doing miserly worship, that's not a good thing. Bhagavad Gita is stated in the law. Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that Lord is satisfied if somebody offers him even a leaf or little water. This formula prescribed by the Lord is universally applicable, even for the poorest man. But that does not mean that one who has sufficient means to worship the Lord very nicely should also adopt this method. No, he should try to satisfy the Lord simply in a nice decorations, nice flowers, nice food stuff. Observe all ceremonies like that. One should not eat anything which is not offered first to Krishna. That we should follow. One should not fail to offer fresh fruit and grains to Krishna according to the season. First mango, first apple, first whatever, we should give it to Krishna. All grain. All after food has been cooked, no one should be offered any food stuff unless it is offered to the deity. One should not sit with his back towards the deity. One should not offer obeisances silently to the spiritual master. Or in the other words, one should recite aloud the prayers to the spiritual master while offering obeisance. We Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya. So not only one, not murmuring, but aloud. One should not one should not fail to offer some praise in the presence of spiritual master. Always glorify him when he has come after a long time, or maybe daily also. We do Guru Puja, that Chakshudana Dile Janme Janme, Prabhu said, or Ebeyas Gushuk Tribhuvan. That is all praise. That your glory should spread all over the world. This we do every day to Guru. This is glorification. One should not praise himself before the spiritual master. I have given such a lecture, Guru Maharaj. 1,000 people became devotee. So that should not be done. One should not deride the demigods before the deity. There is also an offense. This is the list of the 32 offenses. Besides this, there are a number of offenses in Varaha Purana. In detail, one should not touch the deity in dark room. One should not fail to strictly follow the rules and regulations in worshipping the deity. One should not enter the temple of the deity without first making some sound. One should not offer any foodstuff to the deity which has been seen by the dogs or other lower animals. Always dhakke rakhna. Exactly. One should not break silence while worshipping. One should not pass urine or evacuate while engaged in worship. One should not offer incense without offering some flower. So first we offer flower at the lotus feet of Lord. First, then we start worship. Useless flowers without useless flowers without any fragrance should not be offered. One should not fail to wash his teeth very carefully every day. One should not enter the temple directly after sexual intercourse. One should not touch the woman during her menstrual period. One should not enter the temple after touching dead body. So these are the one should not enter the temple wearing garments of red, blue color or garments which are unwashed. One should not enter the temple after seeing dead body. One should not pass air. So this is repetition, most of them. So these are the rules given. If we do this, what happens? Krishna accepts us as our his parshad, in the sense his servant. If we follow, why the kingly person, they keep their servants generally in a parampara. You know, you know that. If suppose one king is there, so in their house, the servants are also in the parampara. His father would be servant, his father would be servant. So in that what happens? They know exactly what is to be done. They don't take a new person because he will create a mess. Because he doesn't know what is what type of people live here. What is the custom. So they keep a house for the servant. Their children also learn from the very beginning kya karna hai वगैरह. Similarly, now what has happened? We have for a long time we are away from Krishna. So we don't know how to treat to him. That's why Guru teaches us on now how to connect as a servant. So once we show Krishna how serious we are, immediately he will provide all kind of assistance. He will give us all kind of intelligence. And then we progress. Then actually while serving Krishna, we become happy. Otherwise we will say, oh, this is a burden. Now I have to get up and I have to clean the deity, I have to dress him, offer bhoga, abhi मेरे को भूख लगा है. It will become a burden if we are not trained in serving the deities properly, you know, as a servant. Because the same bhokta mentality will be there. That, oh, why should I serve someone? I have to serve, and somebody should serve me. Understand? So that's why people discourage that new people should not bring deities down at their home. Have a sufficient practice. Are you very eager to come to temple and do services, menial services for Krishna for a long time? Then it is recommended that okay, you take. Otherwise, it will you just type of show you will bring it, then you keep performing offenses to the deity. So what is the use of then doing that? So, in Padma Puran, it is written that even a person whose life is completely sinful will be completely protected by the Lord if he simply surrenders unto him. So this service shows surrender. And even a person becomes an offender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, he can still be delivered simply by taking shelter of the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. In other words, the chanting of Hare Krishna is beneficial for eradicating all sins. But warning, if one becomes an offender to the holy names of the Lord, then he has no chance of being delivered. That means we should not take holy name as a remedy for doing all kind of offense. Holy name is Krishna. So there are 10 offenses against the chanting of the holy names which we have to follow. Every day we chant this in the morning in the temple. The first is to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy names of the Lord. Those who are preachers, you should not blaspheme them. I mean, any devotee. To consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the names of Lord Vishnu. Sometimes the atheistic class of men take it that any demigod is as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is an offense. To disobey the orders of spiritual master. If you want to disobey the orders of spiritual master, don't take spiritual master. You will not get any, offense. If you are not accepted spiritual master, fine, you are alone. You are on your own way. But if you have accepted spiritual master, then it is your duty to follow his orders. It is like a captain. You have chosen captain for your life. Otherwise, it is offense to holy name. Because who has given you holy name? Guru has given. To blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature in pursuance of the Vedic version. To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be in imagination. To give some interpretation of the holy name of the Lord. To commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. That is also there. Holy name will take care. That is itself an offense. Namno baladiya he papa buddhi. He doing offenses on the strength of the holy name. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna one of the to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna one of the auspicious ritualistic activities offered in the Vedas as fruitive activity, karmakanda. And we see that there are many karmakanda fruitive activities. We perform, putra yagya, ye yagya, wo yagya. It is not like that. If we um, are in the position of thinking that, oh, this is same like auspicious ritualist activities as karmakanda activity, it is an offense. Because this actually is the process where we are trying to connect our forgotten relationship with Krishna. So as we are focused while chanting Hare Krishna, Prabhupada said, if we are focused like this, we can become connected with Krishna. You need focus. We are chanting for so many years, but still we are not connected because that focus is not there. That 100% performance is not there. Our attention is uh, spread into so many objects other than holy name. Even while chanting, we are thinking about so many things, past, future. So that is why the effect is not there. So cleansing process, it is a cleansing process. And other karmakandi activities, what are they? They are furthering our existence in the spiritual in the materialistic world. Because what we are doing, I want this. So get this, have attachment to that thing also. Then we are furthering, we are extending our stay in material world. How can this both be on the same platform? Understood? Something is taking you away from all materialistic attachments and attaching you with the spiritual kingdom. Other activities are actually binding you more into this material world, more attached to all the fruitive activities. Next, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. It's also an offense. So Prabhupada writes, anyone can take part in chanting of the holy name of the Lord, but in the beginning one should not be instructed about the transcendental potency of the Lord. Just tell him, chant Hare Krishna. Don't tell him, oh, it is Krishna's internal potency. You know, oh, like a because he has no connection, no access to that internal potency. Again, those who are too sinful cannot appreciate transcendental glories of the Lord, and therefore it is better not to instruct them in this matter. Hmm? In another way, we can see that even in Krishna consciousness, we see we have problem chanting 16 rounds, but those few people want to know, oh, higher, anything higher is there other than Prabhupada's books. There are certain people, they have problem in dealing with devotees. Chanting problem, reading is not happening. But if there is something high, then Hare Krishna. That is also not good. 10. Do not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names and to maintain material attachments, even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. So, actually, developing faith in chanting Hare Krishna will come when we do regularly every day and same time, you know, early in the morning, of course, in Brahma Muhurta, before 7, something like that. And then that is like, just like we take bath early in the morning only, and then we go for work. So we don't get, like nausea, dizzy, something, we are fresh. Similarly, in the morning, if we clean internally our heart, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, then the materialistic allurements or they don't affect us. If we do every day, then we'll feel there is some, if you you take bath every day and you go out, then it becomes a habit. You know that if even one day if I go, I don't feel like, good. Similarly, if we have a habit of chanting Hare Krishna every day in the morning, then little by little we'll have faith that yes, actually the purification is happening. Morning chanting and afternoon chanting and evening chanting, night chanting is all different, different results altogether. The effect is not same because the vibrations outside are changed in different praharas, right? So it's better to chant in the morning, whatever rounds you chant. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve desired success. Right? Chapter 9, further considerations of devotional principle. Now comes blasphemy. Now, offense is one that we do out of envy, lot of, or maybe, we want to demean someone. Offense, what is offense? Is we know that this particular behavior will hurt this person. Still we do. That is an offense. It's not that now I am going for some seva and somebody is coming from here and we are, I dash with him and he falls down. So that is not offense. It's unintentional. But I know that somebody now is going to come and now and I don't want him to go for that seva. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur gives very nice example. The two neighbors are there. One neighbor knows that next day morning my neighbor is going to go for one business uh, meeting, and he will be having crores of rupees um, profit. He says, how can he not? I mean, I have to stop him. So what he does in the morning, he actually sits in front of his gate with a cut nose. And in those days, it is like an upshakun, bad omen. If you see in the early in the morning while going for a good work and see somebody whose nose is cut, then that means your work will not happen. Now, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gives an example that while doing this, what has happened? Who is at the loss? Who is in the pain? The person who is offending. Similar. This is what we have to understand. We think that my action will hurt him, will make him unhappy, but the reverse happens. We become unhappy, and Krishna favors him. Understand? Now, one step ahead, blasphemy means you are not happy that I have a bad reputation towards him, and in the sense that, okay, I don't like him. You want that 10 more people should not like him. Understand? Blasphemy means that person is a very bad person. I mean, you just speak lies about that particular person so that the hearer will think, oh, he's a liar. So you spread the disease. Blasphemy means it is more dangerous than offenses. If you do Vaishnava aparadh, you are at like you will get certain reaction. But if you blaspheme, that is a multiple time reaction will come to you. If you blaspheme a pure devotee, then it's the end of your bhakti. And you are very senior devotees here. You must have seen many kind of examples. The neophyte coming and then he has some issues with someone and then he starts blaspheming, and then within 1-2 years he's gone. Why? Because it's like the intention is so deadly that he himself is harming him and his devotional service. Just like the person who is cutting his nose and he wants that his neighbor should not get profit. So our entire day, 24 hours now, we should think about more about these two things. What? Is my chanting proper? Am I breaking any uh, rules? I mean, it's 10, 11 offenses given. Am I doing any offense to holy name? Or second is, am I offending any devotee? Do I have any wrong thought about devotee, negative thought about devotee? This introspection will help us progress more than planning to spread Krishna consciousness in entire world. समझ रहे कि नहीं? Oh, let me चलो एक area काबिज किया. But if we are failing in these two attempts, chanting Hare Krishna properly and properly dealing with devotees, then we are not at all progressing. So Janma Sarthak Kari, it will take more efforts from our side rather than to Paropkar. Paropkar will happen automatically if we are very sure in this Janma Sarthak Kari. And understand? If we are very perfect in our devotional service, then prachara will happen automatically. So blasphemy. One should not tolerate blasphemy of the Lord or his devotee. Now we have taken this particular thing about the blasphemy done by us. we should be careful about not to blaspheme other and not to offend others. Now, here we are dealing with what to do when we see that somebody is blaspheming Lord and devotees. What should be our role? What we should do? One should not tolerate blasphemy of the Lord or his devotees. Sukdev Goswami in Srimad Bhagavatam tells Parikshit Maharaj, my dear king, if a person, after hearing blasphemous propaganda against the Lord and his devotees, does not go away from that place, he becomes bereft of the effect of all pious activities. So what should we do? We should do three things. If such things happen before us, if somebody is insulting devotee, what we should do? If someone is heard blaspheming, somebody is heard blaspheming by word, if someone is heard blaspheming by words, one should one should be so expert that he can defeat the opponent party by arguments. That defend that devotee. If he is unable to defeat the opposing party, then next step is that he should not just stand there meekly, but should give up his life. I mean, that is not ideally. This is written by the Shastra. But third process is followed by everybody. If he is unable to execute the above mentioned two processes, and this is that one must leave the place and go away. If a devotee does not follow any of the above mentioned these three processes, he falls down from his position of devotion. So you decide which one to do. If this blaspheming is happening between devotees, then better, if you are a junior, then don't enter into that. Pray for them, both parties. So Krishna, please give them better intelligence, stop fighting or blasphemy. If you have a courage and if you have adhikar, you can stop, then you genuinely stop that. If you can't, you go away from that place. Putting your fingers in your ears. Don't, अरे क्या बोल रहा है उसको गाली दे रहा है अच्छा. Don't hear blasphemy of anybody. समझ रहे ना? Because it happens in the devotee community. It is like it's a nature of the world that not everybody is liked by everybody. There are 70% people will like you, 20% people will see that, oh, it is normal, and 10% will be neutral. 20% people will have a fault finding tendency. This is generalized. Uh, research has done. 70% people will like you. So in devotee community, there will be some fight. So there is a fight going on, somebody is speaking about somebody else, don't hear that blasphemy. Because what happens when you hear the blasphemy of any devotee, you will have a certain perception about that devotee, whatever you have heard. Even though you have no communication with him, you have no relationship with him, but because you have heard something, you will see him through that glasses. It's very serious, I'm telling. Suppose X person is there, X devotee, you have no relation with him. You know him, that X devotee is there, but two people are discussing, or he is like that. So positive will be there. You will see him as a positive person. But if he is a negative plus, words are coming, you actually will see him. Oh, वैसा ही रहेगा. That's the human nature. That's why we should not hear blasphemy. We should run away from that place. We should always hear the glorification of the devotee, like that. And of course, what to speak of our, we should never ever speak bad words about the any other devotee. If you have, there are so many courses. If you have anger, if you have some bad experience about any devotee, you should write down on the paper. Express yourself on the paper. Don't speak to another other devotee. Arey, why you are nervous? Arey, yo, aisa hua, ta, 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 ta. Don't pour down all your expressions onto somebody else. कागज में लिखो, then after some time you read, you will tear it up because you will regret that, oh, I am actually, what I am doing, I am destroying my own devotional service. This is, am I speaking something which I have only experienced or you also have same experience? We become so angry with someone and then later say, oh, it was itna bhi. So that means we are advancing. If we don't feel like after some time that I have done something wrong, there is something wrong there. We are not practicing devotional service perfectly. After some time, we have to repent the way we have treated someone. Because right and wrong is different in devotional service. Outside, there is a right and wrong. In devotional service, everything we have to find out the devotional way. There is a path in between right and wrong. Vaishnava way. And that will help us progress. So these are the three ways. Then further consideration of devotional principle, chapter 9. Tilak and Tulsi beads. So Vaishnava means we have to wear these Vaishnava tilak and Tulsi beads, right? So it is said that in Skanda Puran that persons who are decorated with tilak and gopi chandan and who mark their bodies all over with the holy names of the Lord and on whose necks and are the Tulsi beads are never approached by the Yamadutas. Because in our Ajamil case, what has happened? The case went to Yamaraj. That Vishnudutas have snatched one sinful person from our hands. Who is saying Yamadutas is actually the way they are chastising their master. Then what has happened? Somebody else is there, a master, your master. How can Vishnudutas can snatch a sinful person from our hands? It's our duty to give them punishment. Yamaraj says, no, Narayan is actually my master. And Vishnu Dutas are. So whenever you come across Vishnu Dutas, run away. So Vishnu Duta means what? One who wears. So those whose body is decorated by the Vaishnu Tilak and wearing Tulasi beads. So he says that I cannot punish them, nor you, nor Brahma also, Brahma Danda. So that doesn't mean but just by wearing we become a Vaishnava. We have to follow Vaishnava etiquettes. This is just beginning. Otherwise, anybody can wear it. So we have to chant Hare Krishna. We have to follow all the Vaishnava principles. Then Yamaraj will not even bother us. Yamdutas will not bother us. Understand? Padma Puran also mentions a person whose body is decorated with the pulp of sandalwood, with painting of holy name of Lord, is delivered from all sinful reactions. And after his death, he goes directly to Krishna Loka. Accepting flower garlands. These are all 64 items which we have seen in devotional practice. We are seeing now in details. So, early in the morning, what we see after the arti, we get flower, right? Something flowers offered to the Lord, and then at night, whatever garlands were there, they are distributed outside. They are Mahaprasad. So, Uddhava says to Krishna that, my dear Krishna, I have taken things which you have used and enjoyed, such as garlands and flower, saintly articles, garments, ornaments, and I eat only the remnants of your foods. So that is also there. What happens by that? Because I am menial servant, so therefore I am sure that I shall not be attacked by the spell of material energy. So it is like a disinfectant. We become Krishnais. So the Maya cannot affect us. That's why it is the first thing what we do when we tell somebody to become Krishna conscious, eat prasad and chant Hare Krishna. So eating prasad is what he can do. So he can offer it, and that purifies. So it is such a process which even scientists will faint to understand. Hare, kya hai idhar? Just offered a food and this person gives up all drugs. How is it possible? People spend millions of dollars for this drug addiction to give up. They can't do that. But if you follow this with proper guidance, then this can happen. Again, so this is the use. This is particular thing. Accepting the remnants of the Lord. Skanda Purana says, "My dear Narada, anyone who puts on his neck the flower garland which was formerly used by Krishna becomes relieved from the all disease and reactions to sinful activities, and gradually he is liberated from the contamination of water, contamination of matter." Right? What is happening? We are more and more attached to the matter. People are becoming so much. They are becoming more consumers. Like before, people not used to buy things like that. Now people use and there is a trend of use and throw, right? So many cloth shop, garment shop, can you shoe shop? Why they are there? Because people want to buy. Have you ever noticed this? Just go into the market, there are shops and shops of shoes shops. Take shoes should stay for 2 3 years minimum. Then why these shops are needed or them shirt? I mean garment shop. So the point is we are becoming more attached to contaminated by matter. If you want to get attached to Krishna, then we have to become Krishnais. So, and accept the remnants. Previously, we used to take, the mogra or some jui flowers, put it in our pocket, and the whole day we used to smell like this. That is offered to Krishna. So it is one way it is good also the fragrance, but it is actually prasad. So that will affect our consciousness also, like that. Dancing before the deity. It is said that in Dwarka Mahatmya, a person who is in a jubilant spirit, who feels profound devotional ecstasy while dancing before me, and who manifests different features of bodily expressions, can burn away all the accumulated sinful reactions he has stocked up for many, many thousands of years. So dance before the deity and clap also. From the body of any person who claps and dances before the deity, showing manifestations of ecstasy, all the birds of sinful activities will fly away upward. Because dancing means we are servant. Who dances before? Actually, the king sits and is Nato. Like that. So king is Krishna and we are his servant. So we become so joyful to make Krishna happy. Dance like that. So Krishna says, I will relieve you all of your sinful reactions. Again. So we should not be shy with dancing before deity. Bowing down in honor of the deity. A person who has performed great ritualistic sacrifice and a person who has simply offered his respectful obeisances by bowing down before the Lord cannot be held as equals. That means bowing down to Krishna is more than doing ritualistic sacrifice because we are showing surrender to Krishna. When you meet someone in your official meeting, do you bow down to him? You think that I am equal or maybe I am higher than you. But the moment you, but somebody very big person is coming, you will say, oh, danda, इधर से कुछ चाहिए है कि नहीं? So bowing down before Krishna means you accept him as a master, the king, your provider. That should be done. Prabhupada said in his 1966 and 67, he said to his all disciples that because you are, whenever I come and you bow down to me, that will help you progress so much from you because you are degraded situation you are coming. Because you are sincerely offering obeisances to Lord and your spiritual master, you will progress rapidly. Standing up to receive the Lord. So a person who sees the Lord's Rath Yatra, car festival, and then stands up to receive the Lord can purge all kinds of sinful. So Rathas, by seeing Rath, we should pay Dandavat and then receive him. Following the deity. So we should follow. In Rath Yatra, what we do? We follow the Ratha behind the Ratha. We actually dance also. Going to the temple of Vishnu and or a place of pilgrimage, it is needed because entire year what we do, our the prapancha activities we do, where all our entire schedule is designed in a such a way around us. I do. I am the doer and my family influence. And some days are should be given where we should not have any connection with our daily routine. We should be completely like focused on as a servant of Krishna. Should be hearing a lot about the Lord Leela, doing some service there. Actually, going to the holy place, we should actually clean the place. It's like a temple cleaning. We do that in the yatra. So by hearing, the main purpose of going to holy places is to hear from the sages there about that holy place, what type of leelas the Lord did there. So it is a very important task, and it is the one of the five most potent elements of devotional service. What is that? Yatra. Yatra. Visiting the holy places. So all of you are attending our Kartik Yatra. Who has not ever attended any yatra? Then you should attend. Circumambulating the temple of Vishnu. So that is also done. If someone circumambulates the temple of Vishnu at least 4 times, it is understood that he has traveled all over the universe. So if you can't have a position to travel the world, what do you do? Circumambulate the. That means you have circumambulated all the holy places in the universe. Archana. Archana means doing worship of the deity in the temple. By executing this process, one confirms himself to be not the body but spirit soul. That is the way. Before the entering to the altar, we have to go as a spirit soul. Gopir Bhartur Padagamalayur Das Dasanu Das. That should be our attitude while entering to the altar. So there is a story in Bhagavatam. It is told that simply by worshipping Krishna, one can easily achieve all the results of heavenly opulence, liberation, supremacy over the planetary systems of the universe. The event leading to Sudama's murmuring. So there is a episode where one of the friend of Krishna goes to Yagnik Brahman and asks him about some food. The Brahmanas were performing great sacrifice. And then what has happened? In Sudana, one particular person went. The Brahmanas refused to offer anything. For the wives of Brahmanas, upon hearing Sri Krishna wanted some foodstuff, immediately took many palatable dishes and went there. So you should understand that why it is connected to Archana, I mean, this episode, that when we do deity worship, then deity worship we should do as a representative of all other devotees who are not in the temple. So we should not feel proud that, oh, I am better than all of them. We are their servant on their behalf. I am doing some worship. Are you getting me? So many times it happens that when somebody becomes a Brahmana and then he is offering arti, he thinks I am better than all of them. So that is what is the mentality of the Yagic Brahmanas mentioned there, that if Krishna has come and he has sent his friend, but he says, no, no, see, I can't give him. So that means wo kya hua? It is said that when a mother previously used to bathe the boy in the bucket, the tub, the chota bacha. Then after the bath, what happens? You have to throw the water. But they are what they are doing, that they are throwing the baby and putting the tub. So entire worship process is what? We should be able to understand who we are. We are the servant of Krishna and all the devotees. But if we are proud enough to understand I am better than others because I am close to Krishna, then it is like throwing the baby and putting the tub water. One has to become humble to go close to Krishna. Then he will remain there. Otherwise, our position will be like this Yagic Brahmanas who refused the bhoga to Krishna, rendering service to the Lord. While serving the Lord, we should understand, I already told you, we should think Krishna is like a lion, he's like a prince, and he's like a baby. In the sense, lion means he will not take anything, you can't go, anything granted. You have to be very careful. Prince, he will not um, forgive you for any of your offenses. Have you seen any prince? They are very short-tempered. In the sense they are very alert. They cannot tolerate insult. Just like in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a Gopinath Patnaik who is a devotee, and he goes to the prince, and the prince particular. So he offend him. So actually, the prince puts him into the changa only. Changa means he tries to hang him. So the main thing is alertness, and the baby means we have to be very careful. You can't just put baby somewhere here and there. No, but we are very careful because Krishna, the entire body is like lotus petal. It's very soft. So while dealing with Krishna, uh, we have to have a sort of what kind of attitude? Um, Punctuality and cleanliness. These are the two things we have to be very careful. You can't because the baby also, when we go for treating a baby, we have to become clean. You know, and punctuality shows that actually we are giving respect to the person. So the lawyer, these are the three ways we should treat Krishna while serving him. Hmm. Okay, today actually we'll stop here.